actually all just hair. So these are all different hairs. Quickly grab one of them. So my wings are made of hair, as I've showed you. My glasses are made of hair, the glasses I have on some models. So we'll make a version with glasses. We'll make a glasses made Akari. So as you can see, I have a fuck ton of textures on my model. And the reason for that is because they do these. So this hair is one very long, completely flat, look at the curves here, piece of hair. And its texture, if I go down my list and find it, where is it? I'll use the angry one as an example. So this is my texture for my angry expression. Remembering that you will only see this half being the front of your hair, and then this side will be your back one. It reads like a book. So I've got my angry expression thing. If I wanted to add something, you can see where the outline of the hair is. It only goes to the halfway mark. Knowing that, you can make fucking anything, chat. The glasses are a piece of hair with the glass texture over them. And they're just pressed pretty close to the face. The tears are exactly the same thing. They're a tear that I found and then edited and then gave up on and entirely redrew. Like, the tears took me longer than anything else, and it's pressed in pretty close to the face. If I was to change the texture on it, you would see that it's literally just a flat piece of hair that goes through the face. But because it's transparent outside of where the tears are, it sits perfectly fine. No cry, I pay. I'm not crying, I'm good, chat. No, I'm crying. And you can see how those expressions get the hairs added. Like right now, my angry one is on, it's the same as the angry one here. My shock one has two different tricks going on with it, but that's okay. So we'll leave my glasses on and we'll make a glasses made version. Just for posterity's... Just for the sake of it. I can't say that word, chat. She's in Spain without the S. So step one is to make any sort of add-ons or expressions you want. So I have tears, I have the glasses that just go on whether I want them on the model or not, my angry, and my shocked. Now, you want to leave everything that you use on, even if it looks wild, because you've got things all over. And once you've made all of these, and you've got them where you want them to sit on your final model, you are going to export your model like that. And it looks fucking wild at the moment. So I'm just... gonna do this. And I'm gonna export it out to my VROID folder. Alright, now I'm going to boot up my Unity. So things you'll need right now, you will need Unity, VROID, or at the very least your files that you used to make your model, and Photoshop, GIMP, whatever the fuck you use for an image editor. Alright, I need to quickly add a Unity window capture. Whoops. Unity. So now that I've got my Unity capture, I can keep going. I should have thought about this beforehand, but I didn't. Right. New project. On it in VROID. So how these work is these are actually all just hair. So these are all different hairs. Quickly grab one of them. So my wings are made of hair, as I've showed you. My glasses are made of hair. The glasses I have on some models. So we'll make a version with glasses. We'll make a glasses made Akari. So as you can see, I have a fuck ton of textures on my model. And the reason for that is because they do these. So this hair is one very long, completely flat, look at the curves here, piece of hair. And its texture, if I go down my list and find it, where is it? Oh, use the angry one as an example. So this is my texture for my angry expression. Remembering that you will only see this half being the front of your hair, and then this side will be your back one. It reads like a book. So I've got my angry expression thing. If I wanted to add something, you can see where the outline of the hair is. It only goes to the halfway mark. Knowing that, you can make fucking anything, chat. The glasses are a piece of hair with the glass texture over them. And they're just pressed pretty close to the face. The tears are exactly the same thing. They're a tear that I found and then edited and then gave up on and entirely redrew. Like, the tears took me longer than anything else, and it's pressed in pretty close to the face. If I was to change the texture on it, you would see that it's literally just a flat piece of hair that goes through the face. But because it's transparent outside of where the tears are, it sits perfectly fine. No cry, I pay. I'm not crying, I'm good, chat. No, I'm crying. And you can see how those expressions get the hairs added. Like right now my angry one is on, it's the same as the angry one here. My shock one has two different tricks going on with it, but that's okay. So we'll leave my glasses on and we'll make a glasses made version. Just for posterity's... Just for the sake of it. I can't say that word, chat. She's in Spain without the S. So step one is to make any sort of add-ons or expressions you want. So I have tears, I have the glasses that just go on whether I want them on the model or not, my angry, and my shocked. Now, you want to leave everything that you use on, even if it looks wild, because you've got things all over. And once you've made all of these, and you've got them where you want them to sit on your final model, you are going to export your model like that. And it looks fucking wild at the moment. So I'm just... gonna do this. And I'm gonna export it out to my VROID folder. Alright, now I'm going to boot up my Unity. So things you'll need right now, you will need Unity, VROID, or at the very least your files that you used to make your model, and Photoshop, GIMP, whatever the fuck you use for an image editor. Alright, I need to quickly add a Unity window capture. Whoops. Unity. So now that I've got my Unity capture, I can keep going. I should have thought about this beforehand, but I didn't. Alright. New project. I'm just going to wait for this to boot up and stop being stupid. I'm waiting for it to load. Is this a model tutorial? Yes. Croissant. Alright, my Unity is still loading up. How am I today? I am pretty good. How are you? You just woke up? Waiting patiently for Unity. Import that. And my Unity capture is deciding not to work. But that's okay. We'll do this the other way then. Bazinga. Imagine getting dunked on when trying to stream. Alright. We'll do this another way. Display capture. Do this. And I'll just use my entire monitor for it. And we'll live. Nothing bad will come of this, not at all. Alright, there we go. There's our Unity. Took long enough. And I'm going to just drag in our model that we made. Wait for it to load. I'm just vibing to music as well, chat. Alright, we've got our model. Gonna drag it to main camera and fly over to it. We don't really need to do this step, but I prefer to see what's going on while we're doing this. Hello, wee boy. Hello, hello. Programmer without the pro. So you can see it's got all of the extra hairs that we made with our expressions and stuff. So there's a few things we need to do. First part, I think we'll go through glowing eyes first. So you want to go down to your materials. You want to find your eye texture, and this is why I said that your eye highlights need to be on the iris itself. So your eye highlights will work separately to your eye texture itself. So if you put your eye highlights on the highlight layer, they will not light up. And you'll have to do this again to make it light up. So it's easier to separate it into versions you want to glow and versions you don't want to glow. So if you only want certain parts of your eye texture to light up, put them all on the iris layer with your color. And if you don't want it, then you just leave it there. Like, example, I'm gonna do this. And I know you're seeing two of me at the moment, this is okay. If I do this, you can see that there's the white layer up here. And if I do this, the white layer isn't as lit up. So we'll go back to Unity. I can just stay like this. Double the Akari, double the con. No, I will set it back. So there's a very quick example of how that one works. Go back to Unity. Things that you don't want to light up, go on your highlights layer. Things you want to light up, go on your iris. And then you want to click on it. On the side here, you want to go to your emission. Click on this little dot, and it'll come up with a menu of all the textures and extra things that Unity has made for it. So you want to pick your eye texture and emission, and generally you want to put this to not white but some sort of grey. The reason for not having white is because it will glow all the time if it's white. Basically what we're doing here is telling the program that this specific texture for your model has X lighting on it. And if you do this and give it its own lighting, it won't respond with the rest of the model. So if you leave it on white, your eyes will always be too glowy. I can show you when I get to the right angle. So you can see they're like oversaturated because it's on white. Whereas if you put it down to some sort of grey, it looks more normal. Similarly, if you wanted to make it glow a certain colour, you can. I would recommend not doing it just straight out bright colour. I'd pick something in the middle. And be careful that it doesn't affect your eye too much. So you want to stick to something either grey or that you have a colour of it in your eye. Like I could do a red or an orange or something because it's not really affecting the blue too much. But if I do a green, you can see that it's affecting the rest of the eye. So we might go with purple, just for the example. My normal ones have a grey somewhere in here. But for the example, we'll go with purple. And it does affect the eye colour, but that's fine. No programming needed. Exactly. So there we go. That's it as far as glow. You've now told Unity that your eyes will always have this light source for them. And that's that. Alrighty, on to the next thing, which is our expression stuff that we added on the hairs. So you can see where they are down here. And what we want to do is we come up to the alpha, and the alpha basically tells it what color is it and how visible is it. So this alpha slider down the bottom, put that to 0, otherwise these will always show up. And then on top of that, you want to change this rendering type to transparent. And that way it can fade in rather than just immediately going pop. We have that expression now. Like if I do this, that's a better example. you can see that it does, I can't English. It doesn't just immediately go bang. It fades in. So transparent on your rendering type, and then your alpha down to 0. So we now have glowy eyes, and we've made all of our expressions invisible normally. You could do this with any part of your model. If you, for some reason, wanted to have, like, glasses that only appear when you activate a certain facial expression, you could. Note that this only covers stuff that isn't directly on the face. So this is for, like, my angry expression, and only the highlighted part, well, the yellow part of my shock expression. The other parts, such as this and this, are direct texture swaps, so we'll get into that next. So we have glowy eyes, we have our expressions hidden. Now we go into our blend shapes. So blend shapes, we can do a lot with them. Each of these is basically an expression your character will make at some point. So when you pop your model into your 3D program, I use VCFace. It basically combines these blend shapes to show an expression. As far as these go, most of the time I find that there's always a little bit of an issue with them. For example, the blinks, for me, they always just fucking clip in. It's really stupid. So you want to play around with these to get them to a point where you're happy with them. I would suggest leaving, for the most part, them alone, but like fixing any little errors like that. Thanos is stupid, thank you for the follow. So if you wanted a different angry face, open up this face one, and you can change what it'll look like when you activate the angry blend shape. So all of my blend shapes you see are edited from the base one, and it's just what I prefer. This is also how you can give yourself permanent fangs. So I'm actually going to go through and set this up properly. So Fung 1 gives you top and bottom spiky fangs. Fung 1 low is your lower fangs. Fung 1 up is only your upper fangs. You can also have doubly big fangs by combining the two. Fung 2 is your shark teeth. And yeah, just play around with it and get it to a point where you're happy. So for example, if I was to do all of Fung 1, let's try and stop it glitching through the screen. You can see that's all of Fung 1. Then if I also added Fung 1 upper, I can make my top fangs bigger. But I don't want that, I just want normal fangs. Akariteru for this world, thank you. You can tell that I'm slipping into teacher mode, chat. Right. One thing with fangs, unless you're only equipping them for like a scary face or something, make sure you always put them on your model. Otherwise, they will like phase in and out of existence. And it's not very pleasant. So my blink, gonna turn my closed eyes down a bit so that they're not glitching through themselves. Add my Fang 1. Rinse and repeat with literally every blend shape. If you have more than one model, you can actually copy paste your blend shapes into themselves. So just directly replace the blend shapes in the folder using Explorer, and you just copy paste it. But it's up to you. Alright, extra. This face I don't actually have. My extra is replaced by this, because I think this face is really stupid. So I'll go through how to do that as well. I need my Fang 1 though. Fun is another face that looks really creepy in the default state. So I like to bring it down quite a bit. And add the fangs in. Rinse and repeat eternally. I am going to bring in my normal blend shapes, which will not change the process here. It's just shortening the time that I'm spending doing this one by one for you guys. So if you already have your blend shapes done on another model and you want it to be exactly the same, you just want to copy the blend shapes, only the blend shape itself and not the asset data. So for example, it's only the asset and not the asset.meta. Because if you copy those in, you will break everything. So by default, your models files will save in documents somewhere. So documents, whatever you saved your project as, assets, blend shapes. And you want to delete all of these and then leave the asset alone because this is hard-coded to your model. So if you replace these, it'll break. Paste in your other blend shapes, click in and it'll load for a bit, and then it will bring in all of your existing blend shapes. Now you can see the extra has changed because I've done this. And the reason for this is, for my extra, I swapped the texture over. So the default texture is that like cross thingy. I replaced that with a swirly-eyed texture. So I have mine saved. You can make one, you can do whatever the fuck you want, honestly. It's a really easy way to get rid of an expression that is kind of trash. So my expression one is just this. Schwabby, thank you for the follow. And go back into your models folders. Assets. Now we want to go to textures. And you want to find your eye extra. Delete. And then paste your new one in. Go back here and it'll load. Find your extra blend shape and it should apply your new textures into your model. Can we eat during class? Yes, you can. Of course you can. There you go. Bang. New texture. So that's a really simple texture swap. So now we have our expressions and we have a different extra expression. Next part is adding our accessories onto our already existing blend shapes. So here's our angry, but we don't have our little cross that we put on yet. KD, hello, how are you doing? So you go to your materials, you add, you want to trial and error to find your hair that has the expression that you want. You go to main text, you go to color, and you bring your alpha up, and then put it to white. And that way it will show you with a white light on it, and it'll be visible. There you go. Then, now your angry blend shape will show that hair, which means it will be showing whatever expression you gave to it. So my surprise one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring in our shock expression that we made. Color, bring the alpha up, set it to white so that we get whatever we added on. And then we also had our crying one, which goes on sorrow. So materials, find our layer. I picked the wrong layer, that's okay. Trial and error it. 6, no. 7, there we go. So now you can see that the tears are down here as well. So now we have extra things for our expressions. So, if you want to go that extra step with it and have things like this, how I have the blue up the top. Will this be going on YouTube? Absolutely. I also have my texture here and my blushing texture. These are all the same sort of idea, except we're replacing a blend shape. So if we go back down to our materials, you can see that this is your face texture, but it's rounded out into a ball. So what we want to do is go to our textures and find our face texture, open it up in Explorer, and we're going to be playing around with this now. So I'm going to open up Photoshop, and you want to find out how big your face texture is. So just double checking. Yep, that's our face texture. It is 1024, so we need 2048. There we go. And that will give you a square big enough for 4 textures. Add that one on here. Duplicate it. Duplicate those ones as well. So now we have 4 of our plain face. I'm just gonna quickly readjust. Alright. I was sliding down my chair, chat. Okie dokie. So now that we have 4, we can add whatever extra things we want onto it. So if you wanted a different thing, if you want different expressions, this is how you do that. So I'm going to bring in the one that I already made. Here's one that I did earlier, but you can make whatever you want on these faces. So here's my finalized one that I use for my models. And it's my normal texture here, my blushing texture here, my shock one here. The texture ball looks like a nose. And the black yandere texture there. So once you've got that, you want to replace your face texture for your model with this new texture that has 4 of them. So I'm going to go back to my documents, go to my made, go to my textures, and replace my face texture. Go back to Unity, and it currently looks fucking whack. You can see the shock texture there. You can see the yandere texture there. You're probably going, what the fuck was the point of this? Go back to your materials. You now have a ball with all of your textures. It is fucking whack. Look at it. So now you want to fix your tiling to stop it being whack. So these coordinates will give you certain points on your texture. So for your top left one, you want the tiling to be half of the grid by half of the grid. So it will give you 1/4, so one of our faces. And then your offset will determine which face you get. So 1.5 will give me in between. 0.5 will give me my blushing one. 1 will give me my plain one. So we've now fixed our face texture up from being whack. While we're here with our materials, I'm going to go to the colors here, and I'm going to bring this down because this is actually our outline color. And this is how you can make those dark brown lines by default in VROID. Any color you fucking want. Like, if you want your character to have a bright pink outline, you can. I put all of mine to black, just for clarity's sake and because I prefer the aesthetic. So go through any textures like your dresses, your shoes, your clothes, your skin, your body textures. I put them all to the same color. And now we don't have those dark brown lines, we have black lines. If we wanted to change that up, you can see it changing the arms right now. I leave it on black again. Just while you're in the textures, if that's something you want to do, that's how you do it. Alright, now that we've got our face textures in, you want to head back to your blend shapes and pick whichever one you want your new texture to go on. So I want my surprise one. Why is my character in a maid outfit? Because I fucking wanted her to be. What's your problem with it? Right, so we want to add a new material to our material list. And we want to go to our face skin. This time we want to go to the main texture. And you want to change your positioning until you find the texture you want. And it'll show up on the blend shape so you can see how it's going. And yeah, you just look for it until you find the one that you'd like and it's sitting where you'd like as well. If you have different ones, it's a little bit of a grind to figure out where it belongs. But if you do nice simple ones like this, it's pretty easy. Alright, that's step one. Now, I only used one of those new textures for my surprised. Now we're going to make some new blend shapes. So we're going to go up here and you go add blend shape clip. Now I'm going to make my yandere blend shape. And this one we're making is this one. So what I need for that is I need to bring my eyebrows up a bit. Oops, I need to bring eyebrows up. Need to make the eyes a bit more closed. Want to bring the mouth up a bit into a smile. I want to add my teeth in. And I want my extra texture, because my extra texture is the hearts that we already added. So this is how I have my eyes changed to the heart ones. There we go. Now we need to go back to our material list. And we want to add in our face skin, main texture, and we want to find our new texture that we want. And again, trial and error until you find it. So, nope. This one's just a pain to do, honestly, chat. Nope. I'm not actually sure what's my character model. What? Stick? Question mark? Nope, it's not that one. That's gonna give me my dark one. I don't know why I'm so bad at this today, chat. .5, nope. That's our default. 0.5. What's with you guys? Why are you being so weird today? Anyway, this is not working as intended because I am dumb. There we go. Just trial and error it until you figure it out. If you're dumb like me, it might take you a while. So, we now have our blush applied, and wham bam thank you man, there's a new blend shape. We're going to make my other blend shape, which is my... So, Yandere 2 blend shape. You don't need to make Yandere ones for this, you can make literally anything you want, using any combination of your blend shapes and the textures you've added in. So, brows, close those ones a little bit. Always have been. Add that one in. Add our fangs. Add our hearts. I'm gonna go to my face material, main texture, and I want that one. What is my character? I am a dragon. Bonking on point. Wait till 3 AM and I can be persuaded. Okay, so we now have 2 extra blend shapes. We have our materials that we edited for our blend shapes. And we have our extra things for our expressions. We are now done. So we go back, go to VRM, export our humanoid. And I'll just quickly save that with the rest of my models. Right, I am going to quickly put us back onto Photoshop for a second and get us set up on VC Face for the next part of it. Right, so we're back on VC Face, which is my